Good morning. I just want to talk for a second about, as a person that I guess agrees with socialism or agrees with the core concepts of it. Um, how can I be a gun owner? How can I be a person that owns firearms and believes everybody should, especially people of color, should have? How do I correlate those things? How do I reconcile, as they say in my job, reconcile those differences? Being a liberal, being a progressive, recognizing gun violence, recognizing things like that. How can I be a gun owner? Even when I was kind of a libertarian back in the day, 2010 seemed like a lifetime away. And I carried guns here and there. I think it was partially because I had money back then and shit, so I could do that kind of stuff. Getting a CCW didn't really hurt me because I had the money to just blow. But when I had my gun, I didn't use it to threaten people. I never even had it in my mind like that. Or there's people out here that believe that driving a big truck, carrying a gun or whatever means that if you fuck with them, they can kill you. Not that that's something that possibly could happen, that, okay, worst case scenario, I kill somebody. In their mind, it's like the first three options. That's the danger about being around people in Texas and stuff, is that you're walking around people who have that on their mind. That if they catch you somewhere you shouldn't be at and they just feel uncomfortable, they can kill you. They can fucking kill you. And they'll probably get away with it. I've had folks cuss me out. I'm sitting in the car with my pistol, and they never knew it. And I just laugh and, okay, all right. And I think to myself later on, if that man knew I had a gun fucking not even 3 inches from my damn finger, my hand, would they have talked to me like that? You see, I never had it in my mind about me having a gun that I was better than them. That gun was for self-defense. And even then, unless you're threatening my life, I probably wouldn't have killed you anyway. I wouldn't have pulled it to scare you, none of that. White men do. They do. They pull up their shirts. And old white men do. They do that. They make a show of it. And that's what I've come to talk to you about, is how can I be a socialist? But yet inculcate myself with a practice that is so much a part of the conservative movement in America, guns and rifles and stuff. I told you I've known white men had 8, 9 rifles. Everybody knows that. Every black person in this house that has white friends or work with white people, they can tell you a story of that. Dude I know live in Salisbury. No, a dude got rifles all over his house. That's what they spend their money on. I'm just telling you, that's what they spend their money on, guns and bullets and thousands of rounds. And dude at Napa told me he had night vision goggles. And what do you need all that for? I had a light on my AR. I might put a laser on it. That's it, man. I'm not getting no scopes for it. None of that. I have no need. I'm not a sniper. I'm not looking to do a damn Las Vegas type shooting. I'm looking for something close up, low light conditions, and firepower. When I see a rifle, that's what I see. Low light conditions. Well, it's a base, and the lights and the lasers and all that are just, they're enhancements to make me be sure those bullets go where I want them to go. I got off subject. There's a quote I put out there a lot, that in a white supremacist society, it's hard to have guns. And I mean, on contact, Chris Hedges, he's come out and talked about being in war zones and realizing that if you don't have a gun, you don't have agency. And that's one thing I respect about him. If you watch him, you probably think he's an egghead liberal and that he's talking about things that don't help the average person. But if you really watch him and you get into the stuff he talks about, he recognizes America's crumbling. That's what we're saying, guys. America's crumbling. America has a lot of problems. I've never understood it with conservatives that because American governance has so many problems, because there's so much corruption and problems in American government today, that somehow that means socialism wouldn't work. I've never understood that. I've never understood that. You know what I mean? It'd be like if you knew a black guy years ago that cheated you out of some money. So you say, see, because a black man cheated me out of $5 5 years ago or 10 years ago, that means all black people would rob me. If I done a business with a bunch of black people, that means they're gonna rob me for more. That makes no sense. That makes no sense, does it? You know. There's a guy made a good point that if we really believe that Trump is an oligarch, that Trump is a danger, that Trump is, a tyrannical individual, if we know this as socialists or whatever you want to call yourself, if we know this as socialists, then why do socialists want to take away from us the one thing that gives us a little bit of power? Doesn't make sense, does it? And I had never really thought about it like that. I had never looked at it that way. Honestly, I had never looked at it that way. Because Trump, there's no doubt he's a tyrant. There's no doubt he wants to do tyrannical things. There's no doubt that he surrounds himself with people who are of a tyrannical countenance. He talks a lot of good about these people that are really monstrous characters. I think that proves something too. I've heard conservatives all my life try to say that the Nazis were liberals, the Nazis were socialists, this is what gun control takes you to. And I'm realizing that that's all bullshit. And that's belied by the fact that Trump is a conservative, but he loves tyrant people. He loves Suharto. He loves North Korean guy. He doesn't like that they don't do the things he says. I want you to understand that. Trump's not like, damn, you guys are doing things that are undemocratic and you're hurting people and that's wrong. No. Trump's like, you're not doing what I say because I say it. Remember what I told you? I told you yesterday. I said this yesterday. When you're dealing with white supremacy, you can't go by the law. You can't think that if I go by the law and dot my I's and cross my T's, I'll be safe. That's not how that works. They'll change the law. That's the thing Obama shows us, is that if you're a black man and you win by the white man's game with the white man's rules, there's no guarantee they won't fuck you over. That's no guarantee at all. Huh? Look at Saddam Hussein. Look at Gaddafi. Look at all these people that the Americans fucked over that were trying to cooperate. Gaddafi wasn't doing anything to America. Saddam Hussein was letting the UN inspectors come in. And I say it's often that's what happens when you try to go along with them, and they destroy you. See, they've already designed it how they're going to do it. I realize that more and more is that America is not really a democracy. We're not. America, like, there's no further from the truth. And I say that off of the wars we've been involved. I mean, you had millions of people protesting the Iraq war. And what did they do? What changed? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Look at, like I said, the thing in Libya. They still did that. Look at everything they want to do that we protest. They still do it. And see, and that's why, honestly, I understand, and I want to start reading and researching that, is the weatherman. I'm in a period of my life now to where I feel like I've missed out on a lot of history. I'm talking about trans music. I'm talking about the socialist movements. I'm talking about the Black Panthers. I'm talking about a lot of different things that at almost 30 years old, I feel like I missed out on. And that's okay. The books, the stuff's out there. It's like I read a lot of stuff about World War II and Nazis and all that. Same thing. The stuff is out there. You just got to sit down and, do your due diligence. I don't think the Nazis were liberals. I think that Hitler used that socialist stuff to get in because the German people, that's kind of what they're made for, is socialism and a collectivist mindset. That's kind of what they're made for. And I think that there's certain areas that certain groups of people are more, like certain people, they can do well in Florida and Texas, they couldn't do well other places. It's just different climate, different attitudes. I think the Nazis were fascists. I don't think that you can compare socialism or what we talk about to the Nazis. I think that, look at the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Are they democratic? Okay, then. These are words. It's like FedEx. You have those truck drivers, truck company, FedEx. All right, are you saying that Federal Express FedEx is really a federal company? Of course it's not. We know this. It's a name, But conservative electorate, they play stupid. It's like that guy I was talking to that was telling me, but we were talking about those boats, Iranian boats, the ones that they were taking, and they were like, we can't allow them to keep stealing boats. Wait a minute. You went down into their strait, leaking fuel. You don't respond to communication. You turn your GPS transponder off. And then they take you into port. They had every right to do so. And now we know they were smuggling fuel. They were stealing oil. We know this. They had every right to do that. But the fact that this guy didn't even know half of that stuff, I'm beginning to realize how Trump got elected and how he may get reelected again. It's off of ignorance. It's not off of opinion. It's off of pure and utter ignorance of the facts. Talking about we can't allow them to keep doing that. What? Iran ain't doing that to me. I'm not at war with them. I guess he really believes that Russia's going to just sit there and let you go up there and do all this bombing, right? Don't you know? Every time they do a drill anywhere near Russia, the Russians get nervous. If they start doing stuff too, which they have every right to do. Come on, man. These people aren't stupid. And that's the kind of mindset and ideology that got us into the original Iraq War. That the people are going to just accept us with open arms, and they're just going to, just it's akin to doing something dramatic to win over a woman. It's just, what you call it? Just arrogance, man. Manifold arrogance. Manifest arrogance, boy. God. That's how they think. So, that's what I was going to say as well. To me, I'm sorry. Something came up quick, didn't it? To me, honestly, there probably will be a war with Iran eventually. I'd almost bet on it, and it's really sad to say that I've been reading about a lot of these soldiers. They feel like the Iraq war was a waste. And it's weird. It looks stupid, but it's weird. I don't care anymore what the troops think. I think that if 10 years ago, that study came out and they said, well, the troops don't fight the Iraq war was worth it, I would have cared. But I think I and many other liberals at this point, or socialists, I think, and I said this before, why people are driven to socialism is because you realize that this isn't a real democracy. You don't have a voice. It doesn't mean anything. What you say doesn't mean anything. They just fuck you up. It's like when that guy asked Bush about was John Kerry about the Bohemian Grove. He's like, don't tase me, bro, and the cops tased him. And you had police making T-shirts about it, like joking about it. You guys tased somebody because they wouldn't give up the microphone fast enough. And you find that funny? See, that's sick, man. That's demonic. Remember what I told you how conservatives think? That they make jokes about, it's always somebody getting hurt. Always, always. It's always, they never make jokes about, well, this guy ended up winning the lottery. No. You'll never hear a conservative joke about it. You hear a conservative joke about their dad just died, or they had a car wreck, or they lost their job, or they got in a fight. That's all conservatives joke about. It's always about someone getting hurt, someone losing. So I think that's kind of why I never really fit in with them. Because I just, I thought that was disgusting. Even years ago when I made an excuse, I was kind of like, it's kind of like Trump making insults on John Kerry after the man is dead. It's the same. It's in the same vein of just disgraceful conduct. But see, he can do it. These white men do it out here. They do the same thing, making jokes about dead people. You know, I think it's disgraceful, but for them, what's the big deal? We didn't like him. He knew we didn't like him when he was living. But the man's dead. And that respect for the family. And it goes back to what I tell you guys, that if Trump, a lot of times, if he had just shut his mouth, he could have got away with a lot more. You know, like when you watch them crime shows and they like looking at, like, a woman gets killed and like they don't believe it's the husband. They rule him out. And then the husband starts making like weird comments or like taking all the money out the bank accounts or trying to get ready to leave or something, clean the house out. It's like, dude, if he had just chilled the fuck out and waited, no one would have suspected him. He was cheating on her with the housemaid or something, and right after his wife dies, he goes and marries the girl. It's just like, if he had just waited a couple months, nobody would have even cared. Or just a month, probably nobody would have cared. But the fact he done all that is suspicious. I'll go back to what I initially began this recording with. I'm going to end it on this. One thing about conservatives, gun owners and stuff, that subset I'm talking about, rednecks, the carry gun everywhere they go, is that they act like cowboys. That gun isn't really about self-defense. That gun is about maintaining white supremacy. It always was. And you can go somewhere and play your music real loud or do something like that they don't like. I'm talking about an open area they don't like. And they'll do something to get in confrontation with you when their life is not in danger. But they'll do things to put themselves in harm's way so they can brandish that gun. That's what white men do. That's what I've seen in my lifetime. They do that. They put themselves, and then they're like, well, we can't defend ourselves. No, it ain't about defending yourself. It's about minding your business. And white folks don't do that, especially rednecks. They do. It's kind of like cops jumping up on the hood of a car. It's the same thing. Jumping in front of a moving car and jumping on the hood and jumping in front of the same thing. You know that car is moving. And you're doing something to ensure you get hurt so now you can kill the person. So now you can shoot them in the head 5 times. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Imagine if the average person did that. Like somebody's already mad about something else. And so you run up there and get in their way. And when they get mad, you can shoot them. Imagine it. Imagine you could do that in the real world. Imagine you could do that here in the real world. You can't. Can't do that. Maybe in Texas you can. I remember I was working Walmart for Coleman in Alabama, and I went to a store. Well, it was real far out there, Tuscaloosa or something. I think I delivered in Mississippi that night. Georgia, out of the state. And so I get up there, I'm done ready to leave. I throw music up. And this dude and his wife, it's like they ran out in the parking lot to jump in front of my truck. Because it was dark. I could see like they ran right out in front of me. I'm talking about on foot. And that's what rednecks do. if they don't like you, they'll do things to get themselves hurt, to get themselves in harm's way, so now they can kill you because they don't like you. I can give other stories just like that, where you just like, why would they do this? That's what they do. So, that's why in some ways, I get it what liberals talk about. I comprehend it. I understand it about gun control. I get it. But I do think that being able to defend your life is a key part of your rights, of your human rights, what they call it. But in a society ruled by white supremacy, you've got to be armed because these white men are basically showing you every day that you don't belong here, and that they're willing to put guns on your children, they're willing to call police on your children for nothing. This case they had in Ohio, going a little further, where the security guard pulled a gun on the cop. It didn't surprise me. People were like, well, it wasn't race, so he shouldn't have came in there with his gun on. But the fact that someone called police, and the most important thing they could have said, you have a police officer being held at gunpoint. They didn't say that. They just said it's a black guy with a gun. It's Toledo, Ohio. And I've talked to you guys about how I've seen them change. How at one time it was calling police on black people, niggas. And then he started, remember you were seeing people in colleges getting the police called on them? The dude came to get free food and they stopped him for ID. They never do that with anybody there. Or the one where they stopped the, They stopped the black girl in a library eating lunch. She worked there. And the cops apologized. And he had this one recently where the cops came out there. And it was Cincinnati. Black people were realtors. Cops came out, put guns on them. They showed their realtors' cards and everything. Didn't matter. They still kept them in cuffs. And the dude was like, it's because I'm black. And the cop was like, oh, well, that's not, nobody believes that anymore. You're a goddamn fool. Everybody believes that. You see what they do? They say that because, remember I told you, when you deal with white people, white men, they will always come at you with sarcasm. That's what white men do. They always use sarcasm. Because white men, they can't take the chance that intellectually your point is valid. And if you say what you're saying, somebody there might agree with you. They can't take the chance that your point will gain traction. So instead, they'll just say, oh, well, if you just pay your taxes, you won't have any problem. You just, go to your court appear, have no problem. That's what they do. Now it's changing because now they calling the police on children. Now they going after people who really ain't done nothing. But in the beginning, that's what they were doing is, well, if you just didn't do this, you wouldn't have any trouble. Like the one in Texas, where the white man choked that boy, and the police get there, and the police said, why you let your son litter? The boy wasn't even with her when he littered, man. Which doesn't matter. That man had no right to put his hands in. And she said it. I've lived here for years. Like, you know why I live. You would have come over there and told me what my son did. You had no business putting your hand on my child. And you especially had no business choking him. The girl tried to break it up. The cop tried to arrest both of them. Kicked her in the face. Didn't even touch the cop. Thank God for body cameras. Jesus. Thank God for body cameras. I've read about them. People talking about how they can't find the money and stuff for this. No, thank God for body cameras. Thank God, because it showed you the hate in this country, and it showed you how these cavemen really are. Thank God for body cameras. It's to the point now. If I'm somewhere around police and don't have body cameras, I get a little nervous. I do. It's weird because I could be working, with ego, and I could be like legitimately doing whatever I'm doing, and if I see a police officer at a body camera, I'm like, okay, it's time to get the fuck out of here. Like, I literally don't want to do my paperwork. I want to get everything and just leave. That's how I feel. Like, literally. I don't even want to. No, man. They've lost all legitimacy in my eyes. For real. It's amazing in the beginning the things I heard about body cameras. Now it's like, are you kidding? It'd be like someone saying, I don't want airbags on my car. I don't want ABS on my car. I don't want seatbelts on my car. I don't want windshield wipers on my car. It's like, what? Nobody wants those things. Nobody. I don't want seatbelts in my car. I want to go back to having 3 sticks. You know, back in the day, you had to have them 3 sticks in the middle. You drive a truck. No. Go back to before they had heat and egg in it. No. Nobody wants those things. Nobody. Nobody with a brain. Huh? To me, like I said, them white folks, they'll do things to specifically get caught up in controversy and chaos so they can kill somebody. And I've never understood it, never been like that. That makes sense. Peace.